Obviously, senior year, get to play in the state championship was a pretty big deal. Has it kind of set in since Friday night?
It's set in a little bit. I know after the game, everybody's really excited. Just to beat Burns and especially do it in Upper State at Nixon Field was a lot of fun for us. But I would say all day Saturday, I was like, man, we're really doing it. We're really going to play in the state championship, because you always kind of dream about it, and that's what you're working for. And for it to actually be happening, it's pretty cool.
Your season's going to end on the last day it possibly can, too, with the Shrine Bowl and everything else. Kind of a fitting send-off for your senior year?
It's going to be fun to have, of course, the extra weeks making the state championship, and then the next week you're playing the Shrine Bowl. Just more football. I love the place. It's going to be fun.
This senior class has gotten better and better and better. I've watched y'all, I guess, 20 times over the past couple of years. Talk about the bond you guys have got.
We've gotten a lot better. I don't think we're like necessarily the most talented compared to, I guess, other schools and even former years, but we're just so close. Even off the field, we're hanging out and stuff. We've just really created a bond. We're really a family. So it's cool to see that translate onto the field.
Have you looked at film yet? Have you seen Fort Dorchester's defense?
I've watched very little. Coach had to leave pretty early this morning, so I've seen a little bit, not a lot.
What do you know about them so far?
They're undefeated. So, I mean, we knew whoever we'd play obviously would be good because we're in the state championship. But they're a good team. They're undefeated, and I think we're excited for the opportunity to play.
All right, you've got a little bit different situation. You're missing out on a postseason trip for another one. You'd rather have this one, wouldn't you?
Oh, yes, definitely. State championship, this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. I would like to thank everybody from Northside that let me be on the team, but that state championship means more to me.
Defensively, the past couple of weeks, y'all have played really well, particularly Friday night against Burns. Tell me about the mentality y'all are trying to bring on that side of the ball.
We came to this year, we feel like this could be one of the best defenses that Dorman has had in years past. And we just come out here we know Burns is a great offensive team, but we feel like we could take them on, and we did it.
All the talk about Fort Dorchester being big, being strong, liking to plow the road, as a linebacker, that's got to get on your nerves a little bit.
Oh, yes. We know they have a very good offensive lineman who's a Mr. Football, but we're a very physical team here. We can handle it.
More to what Collin said, talk about that bond that this senior class has got and the way y'all have grown together.
Oh, yeah. It's been a long road. Most of us have been playing since we were real youngins. But this is really a family, and we really want to finish it out.
All right. Seems like I think the last home game at Dorman, you went over 1,000 yards for the year. I think you got about 500 since then. You've kind of turned the intensity up in the playoffs. Talk about that a little bit.
At the beginning of the year, our O-line was kind of like figuring stuff out, and so now at the end of the year, they kind of got everything figured out, and they're blocking a lot better, and they're blocking the butts off in the playoffs, and it's opened up big holes for me, so I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do.
When you can keep the chains moving and shorten the game a little bit and keep the defense off the field, that's a pretty big deal, especially in 4A football. Is that kind of the way you look at things, just do your job and keep the clock running?
Yes, I just do my job, keep the clock running, and try to get first down to every time I touch the ball, I try to score.
It's been not a joke, but people kind of chuckle at it a little bit. A lot of Dorman running backs for the past several years have looked kind of like you. Little guys that can kind of hide behind that offensive line. How much of an advantage is that to you?
I feel like it's a big advantage for me because being a smaller guy, I can get through little holes. And it's pretty hard to get a hold of me, so I use that to my advantage. And
I noticed, especially at Dutch Fork, your style seems to be you almost run parallel to the line of scrimmage, and when you find your hole, you're at full speed already.
Yeah.
Is that kind of something you worked on?
Yeah, it's kind of natural. I gotta just go with it.
Like I've asked the other two guys, talk about the senior class and what kind of bond you guys have got.
Well, my last year, I feel like this is the best senior class that's come through Dorman because the bond we have this year is unbelievable. We had a lot outside of school. We had like a baptism with just the football players, and that was a special thing. So, it brought us way closer, and it kind of created that bond, made it a little stronger.
Just have each coach kind of talk about your journey here, your season, ups and downs, turning points, anything like that.
Well, I thought we done pretty good, but Les has already got us down to 4-0. I thought we were 14-0. So
did I say 4-0? I'm sorry.
The week's not starting off real good.
At least you're still undefeated, Coach.
I am still undefeated, yes, sir.
Should be rested.
I know for us, obviously it's first time here. We got started last year. Got the semifinals, got beat by Hillcrest, and guys done a good job this year. I think it kind of bothered them getting beat last year, so one of their goals was to win state championship. So we're here, and obviously we got an extremely tough opponent with these Dorman Cavaliers. They got one heck of a football club.
Mr. Gutshall?
Well, I think, we lost a couple tough ball games early in the season. Lost to Dutch Fork by 3 and Spartanburg by 3, and then really had a bad outing against Burns. So I think after that Burns game, we sort of found ourselves. And the nice thing about it, we got to face Dutch Fork and Burns again, so we got to pay back 2 of those losses. But it really was a turning point, was that point in time. We felt going into the season we could play with anybody. But, we got one of those teams too that, a lot of people can play with us. So, but it's, we're tickled to be here. I'm so proud of these 3 seniors. We know we got a tough job in front of us, an outstanding Fort Dorchester team. And watching them on film, very impressive. So we know it's going to be a tough battle.
Could both coaches give like a scouting report on the other team? Real quick, Coach Pratt, start with you.
Yeah, I believe the Dorman's too fast. They got, they're loaded with athletes, obviously led by this young man over here. The quarterback does a great job, runs the game very well. They do a good job. I think they run the ball well, they pass the ball well, play good defense, are very well coached. Like Coach said, the Coach Gutshall said, we know we're going to bring our best game. They're just a good football team, a solid ball club.
Coach, when you got a kid like Collin Hill with a 70-yard arm, he can make a big play almost any time, can he, in a football game?
Well, yeah, I think anytime, same way with Fort Dorchester. I think if you're going to play in this game, you better be good at quarterback. They're outstanding at quarterback. Well, obviously, we're outstanding quarterback. I don't think it matters what level. It starts with that position. So Collin's done a great job for the past 2 years for us, and he can make the big play. I don't think Fort Dorchester is probably going to allow him to do that, but he does have the arm to throw it that far.
Okay. Coach LaPrade, Joyner, probably the top sophomore quarterback in the United States, 15 offers right now. Is he really a special sophomore to be 15, 16 years old?
Yeah, he's a very special sophomore. He's, as I said 2 years ago, I've been lucky to have some really good athletes in the past, and some guys playing some professional. But when he was a freshman, he was so far ahead of the rest of those guys. It was a joke. But he's just a good person. He's a good student. He's a good young man, and he's a good football player. He's a total package. He's very humble. Very competitive person. So, yeah, he's extremely special young man.
Coach, that Burns game, the first one, the 31-7, both the starting wide receivers were out. Did that kind of play more of a mental thing on the team, you think, going into that game?
Well, I want to give Burns a lot of credit. They were winning the battle up front, and we had the opportunity to make some plays in the game, and we let it get away from us. We had a chance to make it a 4-point game in the third quarter, and we get a field goal block for a touchdown, and that really sort of took the wind out of ourselves. But no, I think injuries is always part of the game of football, and we have all the confidence in the guys that play behind those guys. So no, I don't really think that was a factor. I really don't.
Dave, you're the winningest active coach in our state right now, sitting before us this morning. If you were able to win Saturday, have you thought about your future? You've been around, 40-something seasons now. What would a win mean to you Saturday? And But what about your future in this great game of football?
Well, you're sure making me sound old, Billy.
How many seasons? Tell us how many seasons.
Well, I was thinking, trying to beat Coach McKissick's record on years coaching, so, it's got quite a ways to go. Now, I love what I do. I hadn't thought about it.
Right.
I think every time you play in a state championship game, this will be my 10th. I don't feel that any of them are any different. I want to win this game real bad, just like Steve does. But everyone was the same way. But no, there's no thoughts of retiring.
How many seasons have you got in this sport?
42 years. I think it's my 43rd. So you're not too far behind, right?
You are old.
I carry the age well.
Good job, Coach.
That's not his decision anyway, Bill.
Coach LaPrade, y'all went through a stretch there towards the end of the season where y'all just were, kind of blowing people out, and in the playoffs you got challenged in every round. Can you talk to the maturity of this team and how they handled? Maybe last year's team wouldn't have handled some of that pressure very well, but this year even though you were coasting, it would have been easy to have a letdown, but your team was very focused.
Well, I think it kind of tells you what kind of players I got this year. Like I said, we've had a lot of good athletes there, but these guys, mentally, they're just a lot more mentally tough than any group I've ever had. They're never going to quit. They're never going to give up. Like you said, the reason we had some close games because of caliber ball. The teams we played, just like Coach Gutshall said, it has a lot to do with the scores. You play better teams, it's going to be a closer game. But that's the kind of team I got this year. They're not going to quit. They're not going to panic. They're not a big rah-rah team. You're not going to see them jumping around, bumping their chest. It's all about playing football. They love playing the game, and they love playing the game hard. And that's kind of what they've done since the first game through the 14th game, and I don't expect any different this weekend.
Starting with the four, could we get each kid tell us about your role in the game Saturday and your goal as a player Saturday in the game? Starting with running back, Mr. James here.
First of all, the goal is to win, of course.
Yeah.
And I would just do my part. Run hard, be physical. This type of runner I am. Pretty much keep the offense balanced. We have a good quarterback to carry on Jordan, but I'm doing my part to keep defense guessing. So be physical, basically run between the tackles, break the arm tackles, make the right reads, pick up good blocks and silence, try to block better than this guy right here. I think he'll come through with it.
You saying he's a good man to run behind?
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Blessed to have.
Well, I just want to. All my goals for Saturday is just to block my assignments, do what I have to do. That's basically all I have to do.
Are you ready to announce your choice now?
Oh, no.
Like he said, the goal Saturday is to win, and my goal is to make plays whenever I touch the ball and just do my job, which is run the ball.
Same thing, the goal is to win, and just do my job, run the offense the best we can, and try to do that.
Like everybody else said, of course I'm going to win. My job is to be the backbone of the defense, make the big play that we need, and stay away from that monster over there.
Y'all got some well-spoken players.
I know, Coach, it's been 2010 was the last time that you guys were up here, and none of these guys were around during that time. So you have the experience of being here where they don't. So where can you help them along this week?
Well, I think most teams, sometimes you have a program that's here a lot. I think most teams, when you bring to a championship game, it's new for the kids. Most of our coaches have been in this game, either with us or with other teams before they came here. So I think our coaches know what to expect. When the game starts, it's going to be played on a 100-yard field, no matter where you're at. You will lose all that around you. And so I think the big thing is just keep it low-key. and make sure they're just ready to play football at the opening kickoff and not get hung up in all the other stuff. But once the game starts, everything will be the same.
Could each coach talk about the journey and the struggle to overcome? Coach, I sat with you at the steps there at Wofford College after you lost to Spartanburg. Had a real good engaging talk with you for about 10 minutes. Steve, I've seen you play 3 or 4 times this year. Talk about the journey and the challenge. It's almost like you're sitting here surviving something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it is a survival in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, we take one game at a time. We've been on the road for 3 straight weeks playing the playoffs. When you finish third in your league, you know the seed's not going to be real good. Mm-hmm. And so we knew the journey would be tough, but as we've told our players before every game, play this game like it's your last game. And so we don't hold anything back. We're going to have fun. And that's what I also tell them, to go out and enjoy the game. But, you know, it's one of those things. I think it is survival. Our league's really tough. Burns, Spartanburg, and next year Gaffney will be in it. That makes things a lot easier. But you know, it's really, we're used to playing in big games. And a lot of our atmospheres are like championship games. I don't know that it can be more intense than last Friday at Burns. To the point we were worried about keeping the teams apart and stuff like that, but not a lot of love lost in that situation. And but we're used to being in big games, and we know we played West Ashley, and we know how good they were with the struggles we had, and of course it didn't help us any that Steve went down and tore that field up. But I don't think that was your all's call to play that night. But it was, you know, it's been tough, and but we just survived.
Coach Brown.
Yeah, you know, it is survival. There's so much money and so much time and so much effort put in for football, and you know the teams that in our league, Division I, they're all good. Everybody's good, and you know they play in a little tougher league than we did, a lot tougher. But I think the good thing for our kids is, you know, over the last 2 years in the playoffs, you know, we're 5-1 right now. Last year, first round we had Gaffney, second round we had Somerville, third round we lost to Hillcrest. So, you know, I think we're battle tested. You know, week in, week out thing. We do not play the games that these guys play. Their league's a little bit tougher, but you know, I think our guys are ready, and I do the same thing Dave does. It's a game. They got to have fun. They got to love it. You know, they're going to play it hard, but it's still a game. And our guys play it that way. We won't be uptight. As he said, you know, I'm keeping everything this week. We're going to do the same thing this week we've done the other 14 weeks. You know, you got to take the hype out of it and just let these guys play and have a good time.
How much is the true game here Saturday? Upper State, they've had the hand the last 10 or 15 years. Is this an opportunity for the lower state to make a statement on top of a title game? Can you make a statement with the win Saturday, hey, we're back in the low country?
Well, I don't know why the Upper State would think that. I mean, shoot, Lower State won in, what, 1989, 99? I don't know why they feel some way. I mean, it's not I mean, obviously we like to win, and, you know, that's I mean, what is that? You know, one team out of Lower State does good. I mean, you know, it is what it is. We're really playing, you know, it's all about Fort Dorchester and these young men, you know, come together. You know, I tell them, you know, I think a total of 67 brothers playing and 17 coaches. So, yeah, it's all about that. If it ends up, you know, we get lucky enough to win, it's a good thing. You know, Lower State team takes the championship, you know. But, you know, it is what it is. It's still just a game, and that's the way we're going to play it.
Are you carrying the banner for the Upper State too?
Well, if those dates are right that you're spelling out, I think the last Lower State team beat Dorman to win the state championship. So we don't feel that way whatsoever.
Yeah, okay.
We lost to Stratford in, I guess it was 1999. A really good Stratford team, and then Stratford came to our place 4 or 5 years ago and beat us in the opening round of the playoff. I promise you, we don't feel anything about Upper State, Lower State. You know, it's just
the fans do.
Yeah, fans might. We don't feel that way.
Great. Obviously great to be here, back for the first time since 2010. Talk a little bit about this team's journey and how they got here.
Well, I think, we play a tough schedule. And we have never, ever really backed down from playing anybody. So we got Dutch Fork and Gaffney as a non-region before you ever get into our tough region. And I think that helps us make it tougher. We used to have to play big games. But we knew that, we lost a couple games. I thought we played very poorly at Burns, our first trip over there. But, sometimes the ball rolls funny, and that's Dutch Fork the second time they played us. I promise you we're not 30, 40 points better than Dutch Fork. That night was worse. So, but after the Burns loss, I think this team sort of came together and sort of, all of a sudden we just sort of started playing better. I think we're planning on playing better right now on both sides of the ball. And it's really a good time to be playing good football.
Offensively especially, and you talked about the Dutch Fork game. Collin did anything he wanted that night. The receivers did anything they wanted. I think in the playoffs, Shanard's got probably half as much as he had during the regular season. He had 1,000. I think he's got 500 almost in the playoffs. Talk about how your offense is rounding into form. Is that something you saw coming once you got everybody healthy?
Well, that and the fact that when we started this season, we had 5 offensive linemen who never started a football game. So we knew that, but they're very athletic, and we thought we had a chance to be good with time. I really think one of the big things is our offensive line has kept getting better and better. They do an outstanding job of protecting Collin. Obviously, in the last few games, they've done a good job opening up holes for Shanard. We're a better football team when we can have Shanard running the football. And that's happened in the playoffs, so that's made us a better football team.
Wesley said he didn't mind at all y'all ruining his trip to the beach. I'm sure AZ feels the same way. Talk about those guys and how much they've meant to the defense.
Well, the defense has played super. I mean, we had one little bad outing down at West Ashley, but Dutch Fork and Burns, they played lights out. And so, that's what it's going to take. Both these teams have been scoring a lot of points. Probably the team that plays the best defense on Saturday probably has the best chance to win.
You feel like you've seen a team kind of like Fort Dorchester before, the big, strong, want to plow the road guys?
Well, yeah, I think most people we're a little bit smaller than. I think they're outstanding. And, a lot of people talk about lower state, upper state. I'm telling you, Fort Dorchester could play in any league. And so we know it's going to be difficult. But like I told somebody on Friday, you don't expect to play a state championship game against a team that's not very good. So we know what we got to do. We like our team, and we're just going to leave it all on the field.